Welcome to Spiritual Happy Hour,
where we serve spirits.
So what are we going to talk about today? Wait. First of all, we want to thank the Master Randy Luna for the amazing activation that you are going to get to hear shortly. And we want to thank the Carl Phenologist Fink for being back there on the camera and recording this so you can hear us. Now, what are we going to talk about?
And we want to let you know that every time we hear the intro or the outro that Randy plays on the piano, it's always different. Do you ever notice that? It's like so wild.
It's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. Good segue. So what do you do when you feel overwhelmed?
Well, I go like this. Hallelujah!
And if you don't have any idea what that means, you need to watch Joy's last week or next week or some other spiritual happy hour called
Don't Call Me God.
It's too funny and too great. But overwhelm is a consistent energy in most people's energy field because there's so many things that you are supposed to do. Your egoic mind is running away with you and telling you how busy you are. Do you ever feel that way?
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah! Instead, generally speaking, most of the time people say, "Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. It boggles my whole brain to think of it all." Do you ever feel like that? There definitely seems to be a quickening of the energy. And, in the summer, the days are getting longer and it feels like they're getting shorter because, a few months ago, we just experienced the longest day of the year with the solstice. And now it feels like we have 10 minutes in every 24-hour time period. Yikes! Don't you feel like that sometimes? Wait. That's my purchase order to the universe or God. How many times does Adironda need to tell us that what we're thinking, what we're saying, what we're feeling, that's our purchase order, and the universe, or God, you'll have to listen to the other happy hour, guaranteed, will step in and say, "Oh, yes, you're feeling overwhelmed. Let's give you more of that." Instead of "you're feeling joy, let's give you more of that." Because most of the time we feel like there's so much going on, we feel as though there is a quickening of time, right? Stop. Breathe. I have plenty of time and money to do all that I choose. Everything is working in divine order. My energy is wonderful. My thoughts have been redirected. All is perfect. Breathe into the stillness. Are you buying that? No, not right now. Some of the times I'm not. Not most, but some of the times I'm not. Do you realize? I feel like I'm speaking directly to you, like you're sitting here in my own home, and I'm talking to you as though I talk to myself a lot. Does anyone else ever do anything like that? Does anyone else ever feel a bit overwhelmed by everything that's going on around them? I know. Sometimes it feels like it might be a lot easier to just pull the covers over your head and go back to bed. Or worse, grab that bag of potato chips you hid from yourself in the back of the cabinet and finish off the entire load while staring into space as you are trying to think. But nothing's happening. Because you're so distracted by all the crunching sounds of the potato chips and the massive munching that's going on in your brain, you're just frozen in time. Feels a little like a rant, doesn't it? That is still not my purchase order to the universe or God. I do not choose to reinforce that emotional rant that sometimes comes out. Change my bracelet. That is the key. Change that habit. Did you know, as with everything else in the world, the feeling of being overwhelmed causes a reaction in your gut. It causes a reaction in your heart. It actually causes a reaction in your brain. According to the Lesley University, we are presently being given more input in the brain than ever before. Brain overload has become an undeniable issue in today's society. We want to learn more, have more, experience more, and then catch up with everything else that we perceive we missed. Uh-oh, I did it again. Breathe. So, what are the two main causes of feeling overwhelmed? 1, multitasking, and 2, information overload. Multitasking is one of the major causes of feeling overwhelmed. One of the foremost researchers on the topic of being overwhelmed, Daniel J. Levitin, he's a neuroscientist who researches, and he focuses his research on the intersection of technology, addiction, and productivity. Now, isn't that amazing? He attributed information overload to the exact amount of multitasking that we do today in this digital world. He wrote, I can't even hardly say it. He wrote, information excess springs the human into indecision to prioritize tasks and activities. This uncertainty, he says, wreaks havoc with our rapid perceptual categorization system. That's a hard word. I'm getting overwhelmed by the pronunciation of the word. Categorization. The system. It causes me stress. And it leads to indecision. Or perceived indecision, which is the perceived overload. The human brain, in other words, is in a state of constant distraction. These unending distractions come from continuously updating the information system, from online communications, social media, the dings from your phone each time you get a text or an email, the sounds of the cat playing with something in the other room, and you think, what is that sound? What are they doing? What's she doing? Or your neighbor calls and wants you to work on a project in your subdivision. Or then the school nurse calls and says that your child is having a problem at school. And seemingly all of this seems to happen in the same 10 minutes. Take a deep breath. Time is not really quickening like that. Get the picture? Now, the second cause of being overwhelmed or feeling overwhelmed is that information overload. There's actually what they call a more scientific term. The result is cognitive overload. According to Levitin's work, cognitive overload has severe psychological effects on the brain. I mean, the thing I want you to think about is the word cognitive, which can also be defined as perceived. So then all the information that you feel you must deal with is not even real. It's just recognizable in your brain, and it perceives it as overload. Because multitasking scientifically has been found to increase the production of the stress hormone cortisol, as well as the fight or flight hormone adrenaline. The human brain is simultaneously overloaded and overstimulated. In addition to the neurological sequences of overload, the psychological effects can be just as severe. Even though the myth that you only use 10% of your brain, I say it's a myth because that's what we used to believe. Now we know that your brain actually assimilates everything that is necessary, especially when you're multitasking. In addition to keeping your body moving, your breathing, your organs functioning, and the millions of other processes that it handles, your brain also gets to deal with a whole set of information pathways. Everyone, everything creates some kind of cognitive overload. Something in your environment dings, whistles, draws your attention, your attentiveness in some other direction. When your brain perceives something that is trying to process with more information than what you might want, that is when it sort of overloads and things slow down instead of moving faster so you can catch up. Instead, they slow down. This happens when you reach a point that I call stagnation of information. You feel stagnant, you feel stuck, you feel frozen in time. Therefore, you're not able to process and then act on what is perceived. According to the Mayo Clinic, there are several reactions to feeling cognitive overload or even overwhelmed. The question becomes, do we know when we are in cognitive overload? Or has it become such a habit that we think it's a natural state of living? I believe the answer to that question is the latter. I believe stress or overload or feeling overwhelmed in our lives has caused us to be desensitized by the sheer energy of overload. Therefore, we don't even recognize it any longer. According to the Mayo Clinic, there are several signals that you may be experiencing right now with cognitive overload. And then, as we say in the class, everything is possible, awareness is the first step to reorganizing that old habit. So what happens in your brain, according to the Mayo Clinic, when you are feeling overwhelmed? Paralysis. Being unable to deal with a topic or issue because it's more complex than you feel you can manage. And that paralysis could come in that frozen moment, or it could even be physical paralysis. Anger. It's the information that doesn't fit with how you think or feel, and you may become angry at having your feelings or beliefs challenged. Repeated attempts to address a topic may lead to feelings of upset, anxiousness, and anger. Passivity. Simply going along with whatever anybody else says. I don't have an opinion. Yeah, we can go eat there. Yeah, we can go there. Yeah, we can watch that movie. I don't care. Passivity. Forming an opinion on a topic may feel like it's overwhelming, while someone else's leads to the easiest way to cope. That would be in nothingness or not choosing. Then, misunderstanding. The seeming inability to understand instructions, directions, or even conversations when someone is communicating because part of your brain is always working on something else, some other program, a memory, a detail. Then, the inability to focus. The inability to focus. When someone is talking to you or talking with you, you automatically drift off into oblivion. Someone called it disassociate with the conversation that's going on. And last but not least is resorting to some form of addiction. You find yourself searching for that distraction when you feel overwhelmed. That distraction can take any form. recreational drugs, alcohol, food, arguments, negative situations, self-destructive people or self-destructive thoughts. They all are a form of addiction. Okay. Now, does any of this sound familiar? I'm sure it might. At least I noticed some examples in my own life when I was doing research on this. So what do you do about that? What is the solution? I mean, yes, we have more information coming at us than we ever have before. So I want a solution. Well, in A Course in Miracles, Lesson 74 says, there is no will but God's will. Since I trust that that is the case, I know that God has given me the tools to counteract any form of being overwhelmed or the results of cognitive overload. First, breathe. Yes, it's really that simple. Breathing, as I have said many times and you've heard Adironda say, brings you present. You are then focusing on what is right now in this moment and not any other moment. Second, listen to your body. When you feel fatigued, tired, anxious, angry at nothing in particular, hungry, even though you may have just eaten a meal, want to have a drink at the beginning of the day instead of the end of the day, that's your body telling you that something is amiss. Stop again, breathe, and ask yourself what's really going on here. Third, change the energy. Walk, drink water, stand in the sunlight, meditate only if those few moments of meditation can calm you and center your mind, like a guided meditation that we have on our website. Change the energy, shift the way you are feeling in that moment. Fourth, prioritize your to-do list. When I look at that, prioritize my to-do list, I feel a little overwhelmed. So I stop and breathe, listen to my body, and follow those instructions. If you don't have a to-do list, that could be part of the problem. Your brain scientifically tries to think of everything or solve everything right now. Get it all down on paper. Do a brain dump of what you perceive in this moment you should do, and then don't should on yourself. Just look at your list, see what is the most crucial thing for you to do right now in this moment. You know you can't do it all at the same time. Remind yourself that you have enough time for everything. Ask yourself, what happens first? What is most pressing right now? And fifth, go into heart coherence or heart resonance. What in the heck is that? How do you do that? Well, I'm going to show you. In fact, we're going to go into a little heart resonance right now to give you an example. And we may even listen to a little of Randy's music, but first we're going to go into heart coherence. And if you forget what to do, just come back to this video later. So right now, in this moment, take a breath. That means breathing in and out, slowing your breathing down. If you can, breathe in to a count of 6 and breathe out to a count of 6. 6 is the number of harmony. Keep breathing in and out. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now breathe normally for a few moments. And now see if you can breathe in to a count of 6, hold to a count of 6, and then breathe out to a count of 6. Ready? In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. Hold. Out. Hearing another voice sometimes is very calming in meditation, so just listen. Listen to your own breathing in. Hold. Out. And just breathe normally. On your next exhale, just breathe directly into your heart with your intention. Give thanks for your heart. You might even put your fingers on your heart to draw your attention there. And visualize a scene or a situation that always brings a smile to your face. Maybe it's a person, a pet, a baby, a child. Just always makes your heart smile. And allow that smile to radiate. Now, as you're breathing in and out and feeling that smile, visualize that task or whatever is on your to-do list. Keep breathing. What will it feel like when it's done? What will it feel like when it's complete, finished? Feel into the completed energy. What does it feel like when you check that off or draw a line through it? That feeling or sense of satisfaction. Breathe into that. Nice. Now just take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Feel that smile reverberating around your body. Take another deep breath in and sigh it out. And come back to the present moment. Take another deep breath in and open your eyes and say yes to you. Do you still feel overwhelmed? If yes, go back and repeat those steps. You see, being overwhelmed is just an illusion. It is the belief that there isn't enough time and money to do what you feel is yours to do. Feeling that way does you no good at all. So now when you feel a bit stressed or buried in the piles of things, stop. Remember those 5 steps. Breathe, listen to your body, change the energy, prioritize your to-do list, and start with heart coherence. It doesn't work. If that doesn't work, go to YouTube and watch this video again, or at least watch the second half of this video again. You could even let Randy's music take you right now into heart coherence before we have a message with Adironda. Won't that be fun? Oh, let's all go into coherence together as Randy plays for us. I feel better already. How about you? So it is good day to you, huh? And good day to you, good day to you. And we wave to you too, and good day to you. And we have applause over here in the peanut section, eh? Dearest beings of light, first take a deep breath as the vessel Marilyn rants and raves about everything she does not want in her life. You understand that every time you think of what you do not want, you know that is what you are given. Everything that you are afraid of, that is what will indeed persist. So stop it. It can be that simple. Every time you go back and tell the old story about everything you have to do, everything you have to have, everything that is experienced, everything in your past, everything in your present, everything in your future, all of that makes no difference whatsoever unless you choose to hang on to it. All of that acknowledges that choice of energy. So, dearest, we just have to remind you, we don't believe that is what you are wanting or choosing to create. You are the most creative life force on this planet that you're living on, Earth. You're making it up as you go along. So if you love to feel overwhelmed, you make that up as well. If you love to feel stressed out about something, you make that up as well. We want to remind you that for every action, there is a reaction, and that reaction is happening in your physical body. Your physical body, as well as your mental body, as well as your emotional body. And then that also can bleed over into your spiritual body. Instead, feel into, breathe into the fact that every single thing is a part of that divine order. And what does the joy say? Hallelujah, huh? Hallelujah. That shifts the energy, which we know was number 2 or 3, something like that. It shifts the consciousness to be able to burst forth with a frequency of exuberation. Your exuberance for wherever you are will indeed shift the energy. So how would you like that energy to shift? That is what we ask you to feel into. That is what that energy comes, that is expanding in such a wondrous way that it is being created moment by moment by moment. So when you say, I don't have enough, you are right. When you say, I can't do, you are right. When you say, I have, you are right. When you say, I get to, you are right. When you say, I experience love in every moment, you are right. Now, honestly know that contrast is a part of your world. So when you see the contrast or experience the contrast, that is only showing you what is possible when you separate from love. So then you can return back into love to have that divine flow. And that divine flow, dearest beings of light, is the true magnificence of you. The true energetic connection with you and your outer world. Your inner world creates your outer world. Your inner feeling creates the result of that feeling on the outside. We know you know this. This is not anything new for you. And yet we still hear you saying sometimes, can't it be different? Yes. How about let's see the difference? After all, something wonderful is happening here on this planet Earth. Let's experience it. Let's breathe into it. Let's feel it. Let's anchor it. Let's create it. Create something wonderful. It is all your choice. We love you, even when you feel overwhelmed. We love you, even when you experience overload. We love you regardless, so you might as well let go of the overwhelm habit and the overload habit, because that is all it is, and create that essence of wonderful love. Namaste. Namaste.